Hi there. Welcome today to my website. I want to comment about a column I wrote last week concerning the FBI. And those who follow my website and my columns and our radio show, I talk a lot about federal involvement in so many issues and state issues, and what I consider often the overreach or the incompetence, quite frankly, of the FBI. And don't like to beat up on the FBI. We need a national focus that deals with national and international crimes. So let me tell you my view in terms of all the controversy going on. Here's what we're talking about. There's a basic premise that the FBI should not target American citizens involving international issues without probable cause. There's got to be probable cause. And when there is an American citizen that may be dealing in some narciferous activity that could lead to a crime, and it happens overseas, Congress, in its wisdom, has set up a FISA court. It's a secret court. You don't know their proceedings, but you go to a 3-judge panel of judges and get permission to do something that normally would be illegal. And that's what the FBI did in this case involving Donald Trump, the Russian investigation, Carter Page, all these various names you've thrown out. They went to the FISA court and said, we think a crime has been committed. Here are some of the facts. What they didn't do is give the court full information. They didn't tell the court that the facts that they are looking at or the crime they're looking at was put in a memo that was paid for by the Democratic National Committee and prepared by a foreign national, a guy over in England who has strong leanings for the Democrats and very anti-Trump. So maybe there was still a case to be made. Maybe the FBI could still make a case that they were entitled to get this information, if the court should grant a warrant to let them wiretap and continue this investigation. But they didn't tell the court everything. Lay it out to the court and let the court decide whether there is justification. But you got to give them all the facts, you see. And this whole thing was tainted because the FBI did not give the FISA court all the facts. They got it under circumstances that, quite frankly, were not right to give all the information out. Don't hide the information. What are you trying to hide? So the House Intelligence Committee saw what happened, and it's a Republican-leaning committee, obviously very supportive of the president. I understand the politics of it all, but they said, no, this is wrong. They put it in a memo. Then all the controversy is whether the memo should be released. And you had the head of the FBI said, oh my gosh, we can't release it. It'll undermine national security. Chicken Little, the sky will fall if we let this memo become public. Well, for political purposes, the Republicans let it become public. I certainly acknowledge that. But when you look at the memo, there was nothing involving national security. There was no compromise of national security. The head of the FBI dramatically overreacted to the memo. Nothing wrong with the memo. The Democrats now are going to have their little spin on their memo. Let it all hang out. You know, that's what democracy is all about. If you go to my website, by the way, I wrote a lengthy article this week about this very issue, talking about the FBI, and I made a number of quotes to you. I talked about a few good men, Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson, and Cruise, as the young lieutenant prosecutor says, I want the truth. And Colonel Jessup, played by Jack Nicholson, says, you can't handle the truth. Well, let me tell the head of the FBI and also Colonel Jessup, yes, we can. We can handle the truth. And unless there's some real major issue of national security, let all this stuff hang out. What do we got to hide? I quoted it again. Let me give you the other quote I talked about here right now. What was the movie that I talked about? Final Impact. I love that movie, Final Impact, about the media that's coming down to wipe out the world. Morgan Freeman's the president. And so in the movie, the president asked a reporter to hold off on a major story by saying, and I can't appeal to your sense of what's in the nation's best interest. And the reporter responds, I always thought the truth was in the nation's best interest. And she's right. Unless there's real concerns that will compromise our security, put people in danger, let it all hang out. Again, the FBI way overreacted. And I can give you example after example where the FBI has come in and not told the courts the full information. James Comey, by the way, you know, the guy that Trump fired and now is on the staff of Mueller, the investigator, the special counsel, put out a tweet this week saying that He blasted the weasels and the liars. Well, the only people I know that are weaseling and lying are you, Comey, when you did your little dance with both undermining the Clinton campaign and the Trump campaign. You're the only one that's doing this little dance here, quite frankly. And the FBI, who's not giving full information to the FISA court and in many other courts in this country. So in any event, it's of sad concern because we should have a strong law enforcement agency that everybody has confidence in. Here's a new poll that came out 2 days ago. 49% of the American people have an unfavorable view of the FBI. 49%. That's not Republicans, that's Americans. Half the American people don't even trust the FBI anymore. And as far as Republicans, it's 64%. 64%. So the FBI has got its work cut out for it to regain credibility. They've got a huge credibility problem. And I don't see that as a Democrat or Republican. I don't like either party, quite frankly. But the FBI needs to lay it all out and follow the law. And if Trump wants to play his hand card, that'll all come out. I understand that. I'm not for Trump or against Trump. I'm just saying play by the rules. The FBI is not played by the rules. So that's my thoughts on the whole focus. We'll talk it again on my radio show this weekend. Glad you're spending some time on my website with me. Talk to you again next week.